everyone, and welcome to our brand new series, To the Point with NavVis. I'm Kourtney, and in this series, we're going to introduce you to some amazing reality capture and data visualization software. We're going to be interviewing some industry experts who will be able to share with you their insights into how to make the most out of this technology. But first things first, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out when we post. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. We'll also leave you some links in the description that you'll definitely want to be checking out after the episode. And with that, I would love to introduce our very first guest on the show, Mr. Nate McCall. Nate, would you do me the honors of introducing yourself?
Yeah. Hey, Kourtney, good to be here today. So my name's Nate McCall. I'm a senior solution consultant here at NavVis. So what I do here is try to understand the needs of our customers and play matchmaker with some of the tools and features that we provide in the NavVis IVION platform to make sure that our customers are getting the return on the investment for their reality capture data in the IVION platform. So prior to joining NavVis, I've been here about 2 years, which is crazy, but prior to joining NavVis, I had about 20 years in the automotive manufacturing industry. So I worked for a tier one supplier for about 11 years and then an OEM for another 10 years. So this is a new gig for me, but I have to say I'm really enjoying it. So.
Awesome. And it sounds like you know what you're talking about then.
I like to pretend. So.
Awesome. Well, let's get to the point then. Let's talk about what we're looking at here. So You mentioned NavVis IVION software. I'm guessing this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is the login screen for IVION. So IVION is cloud-based, so all you need is a device and an internet connection. We're able to leverage single sign-on. So if that's interesting for you to manage the authorizations and the permissions with your single sign-on provider, that's possible. But what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to log in using my admin credentials in this instance, just so I can show you around a little bit more.
Awesome. Okay, So I see a big map here.
Yeah. So this is the start screen. So what you would see here and what you're seeing here is a global view of your instance and an overview of all of the sites that have data. So if you had 37 sites scattered around the globe, you would see 37 sites here. Here we have 2. Even with this view, you can kind of start to understand some of the benefits in terms of being able to visit all sites from the comfort of your chair, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, and they're pretty representative of where we're sitting now, with me in Munich and you over in the States. So
that's true. Yeah. So if you could imagine, if you and I were executives at a global enterprise, and we were making very strategic decisions about where we were going to produce certain products or whether we were going to make or buy a certain component, we're able to fly around to these sites instantaneously and be in these environments together. And that's really, to me, it's a very powerful, a powerful thing about the data and the platform that we offer our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're inside a plant now.
Yeah, so I just jumped into the plant in South Carolina, and it's funny because I get the same comments in almost every call. It's like, oh, this is just like Google Street View, and at first glance, it is Google Street View for the indoors. So you're able to navigate it just like Google Street View. These pucks on the ground that you see me clicking, what they are, they're where we have stopped and taken a 360-degree high-definition panoramic photo during the reality capture process. So just like Google Street View, you can look up, you can look down, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. So really the comfort level of a person that's new to the platform starts out extremely high, which leads to them, delving into a little bit more of the more advanced user functions and features. So
yeah, I guess you can't really drive a car through these factories like Google does to capture all the data. So how do you capture all of this data?
Yeah, so I'm sure anyone that's watching this podcast has done a little research about NavVis, but our flagship reality capture device VLX3 is used to capture information like this. So the scanning process includes capturing what you're seeing on the screen right now, the 360-degree panoramic photos, which is something that you and I were just discussing, and then really for me, the power of the data that we collect is stitched in behind the panoramic photo. So let me turn the point cloud data on just to kind of give everybody an idea of what point cloud data looks like and what it is. Mm-hmm. So what you see populating on my screen right now are the billions and billions of depth measurements that the scanning device takes as you're walking through the factory. So this is what gives the information that we provide geolocated information, and also it scales the data so that you're able to have confidence when you're in these environments and doing evaluations and making measurements, that you can trust the data from a spatial perspective.
Okay, I see. So what exactly what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this is just a robot cell, and this is just something that, this is just an area of the plant. Let's just say that, again, you and I were working on retooling this specific area, and, maybe there's a new welding tip dresser that we would like to install. And, we're working, a few thousand miles away from each other, but we're able to go into this environment and make the measurements that we need in order to do the evaluations that are needed to know if a piece of equipment, for example, would fit or not. So, again, having that geolocated point cloud information behind there is what really enables that.
Gotcha. And so we're sharing obviously this via screen, but if I wanted to share this maybe asynchronously, be able to send it to some of my coworkers, how would I be able to do that?
Yeah, again, with it being a cloud-based platform, it's very easy. So I've got this browser in full screen mode, but as long as the person you're sharing the information with has access to the instance, you can just copy and paste the URL, send it in a Teams chat, send it in an email, and it would take them to this exact location, this exact pose, and you would be able to share that information. If you take measurements and you want to share those measurements, we have a share feature. And again, that share feature, you're able to click that, and again, copy and paste the URL to those measurements, or you can create a PDF report in case someone doesn't have access to the instance and they need to have the photos that are with the measurements as well, and it'll generate that report for them.
Okay, gotcha. And now I have to ask the age-old question, since you've been in the industry for so long. How did you do it before, and why is this solution better than that?
Yeah, planning a new equipment project or producing a new vehicle in a brownfield factory environment is challenging. So one of the first steps is getting the information about the new product that's going to be produced, and working with the design team to understand what the process requirements are and what the quality validation measures need to be. And then once you get to a point where you understand and you're able to get that captured in an equipment specification, the next question that comes up is, okay, where are we going to install this process? Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times, there are different variants of installations or different variants of concepts to produce that product. And being able to quickly get information about various installation locations in the plant is extremely valuable, because how did we do that before? Maybe we had some old 3-dimensional data. Usually it was 2-dimensional data. It was probably out of date. It really wasn't comprehensive because, different departments own different types of data in a factory. So getting all of that information together in one environment was always really challenging. And so what we would do is we would send, the proverbial intern out with a tape measure, a ladder, a digital camera, a laptop, and, ask for some measurements and get that information and throw it into a PowerPoint presentation and email that to Kourtney in Munich, and then Kourtney may have 3 or 4 questions, and then you repeat the process, and it's very time consuming. Mm-hmm. Whereas right now, what you and I are doing today is pretty representative of how people are leveraging IVION. It's like, hey, if we were planning a change to this robot cell together, it's super easy just to kind of come in and say, hey, Nate, that robot pedestal, what's the dimensions of that, and so we could quickly gather that instead of sending the intern out again and getting that information in a traditional way. So it's much more efficient. It's much more thorough. The data is a lot more comprehensive, and I mean, in a lot of ways, it's also safer, right? So that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. If you actually want to try out IVION, if you head to the links in our description, we'll include a test instance where you can test out all these features Nate has been sharing and talking about, as well as get some more information on our digital factory solution as well. And with that, I think, Nate, I've asked you all the questions I have. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience about IVION before we jump off?
No, I would just encourage everyone to follow the links and start playing around in an instance. I think that, again, it's a very accessible UI. Go ahead and start tinkering around with some of these tools that you see off to the left here that you and I will be going into more depth in some upcoming episodes. So, just get in there and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So, and as Nate mentioned, yes, we will be diving into those tools that you see here on the left in upcoming episodes. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't miss out when we post those. And thank you again so much, Nate, for showing us, giving an intro into NavVis IVION. And I'm sure there's a lot more insights to come in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, awesome.
So thanks to both again for tuning in. Make sure you like this video and leave any comments or questions you have below, and check out those links in the description again, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.